Yeah, I love. I've had a few people who I've asked about that. One of my previous guests, Alyssa Knight, said that she was escorted off of her high school grounds by Secret Service because she got a little too inquisitive with the school's mainframe, or actually I think it was like a local like military organization's mainframe. But can you talk about like the thought process? Like, when did you realize that there was a choice to be made in terms of using these powers for good or bad? Was there like a specific thing where you saw someone go to jail, or did you just naturally say, oh, I don't want to do that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I can't remember what terrified me more. It was, I think there was my dad had printed out a news article on a hacker kid. I forgot who it was, getting busted and getting thrown in jail, and then he cut out the part where that same kid got recruited by the NSA.
Right.
So that was like, details,
Yeah.
which I learned later when I
Yeah.
reread the story. So there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit about kind of knowing what was right and wrong. So for instance, learning how to fish. So there's an interesting tool I remember in AOL where in a couple of clicks you could fish an entire chat room. And in that chat room, I didn't know what I was doing. I hit go, and suddenly it's fishing everybody to say, "Hey, we're AOL administrators. Your password has an issue. Please put your login and password here." And then a bunch of people said, "We're going to report you," and a bunch of people were like, "Oh, here's my password," and maybe a 50-50.
Right.
And when they started saying, "We're going to report you," because I didn't know what I was doing, that's what really scared me. Of like, holy crap, this is actually a big
People
deal.
can see you now. Yeah.
Yeah, and once again, I was 10 years old,
Wow.
at the time when I was learning this stuff, and so that kind of kept me
basically
on the right
a
side of the
new
line.
toy that you just turned on, and it like just sort of like ran rampant over the neighborhood until people started
Yeah,
looking at you.
and then I remember like finding another forum where this tool that I downloaded was available, and I started asking questions like, "How do I use this?" And then I got punted off of AOL by one of the other like hackers, and then my machine would not stop blue screening. So
Wow.
that's when I realized that this is actually quite powerful.
You
And
were, playing
yeah,
with some dark arts there that you didn't want to replicate.
that's exactly it. But it's
Okay.
funny, I still draw on those experiences even today.
Sure.
When you talk about how even at 10 years old, I could in 3 clicks run a phishing campaign against a chat room of 5,000 people, it is no different than the mechanisms. I mean, the tools are
Yeah.
different, but the techniques are no different than what you see today in the industry.
Right. Yeah. Especially like you say with the sort of phishing as a service, and the kits that they're getting are probably not dissimilar from the tool that you picked up back then.
Yeah. In fact, when I was a CIO, we used to do internal phishing campaigns to assess our posture.
Sure.
The most successful phishing campaign we ran was sending out emails saying, "We detected you accessed adult material from your work laptop. Please click here to explain why." And we had like a 90% click
Wow.
rate, everything ranging from "I'm usually very careful" to "I don't understand how this happened" to "I'm offended. There's no way this is possible unless my son got access to
But
this."
everybody had to weigh in on it at least. Wow. New episodes of the Cyberwork podcast are available every Monday at 1 p.m. Central. And don't forget to check out our hands-on training series, Cyberwork Applied. Each week, expert Infosec instructors teach you a new cybersecurity skill and show you how that skill applies to real-world scenarios. Go to infosecinstitute.com/learn to stay up to date on all things cyberwork.